Greetings, Judah. DFG of Gideon's Flight. Hey, guys, I hope you guys are having a very good Sabbath uh, afternoon, almost evening time. Um, I just want to take a couple of minutes, and since we're talking, or this is the Sabbath, I want to bring forward just some observations on the Sabbath and its importance. Okay? Um, First and foremost, the Sabbath, from best I can tell, doing my research, has always been on a Saturday. Okay? Uh, well, as far back as information that's available, let me say it that way, has been on a Saturday. You know, the Christian celebration of Sunday Sabbath was instituted by the Catholic Church. So that's why, those who practice the Sabbath on Sunday, they're a part of the Catholicism movement. In essence, the Pope has dictated to them which day they should honor Elohim as a day of rest. Now, that is an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. You know what I'm saying? The the Pope dictating to true believers what day they should believe, okay, or should honor Elohim in their belief. You know, that's you know that probably answers the question for anybody who's questioning should they be practicing Sunday Sabbath versus Saturday Sabbath, unless again, you are part of the Catholicism movement. Let me come back to where I'm standing. It's going to be short. I'm not going to be long here. But that being said, should you be working on the Sabbath? Well, the answer is yes and no, or no and yes. And I know there'll be a lot of controversy out there. There'll be a lot of people who are saying, well, he's wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Um, I will push back and say, I'm never going to give you my personal opinion about what the book says. Does the book say we should keep the Sabbath and that the Sabbath is what would be considered a day to honor Elohim? Yes. It's one of the commandments, one of the 10 commandments. Remember thy Sabbath and keep it what? Holy. In other words, keep it pure. Keep it clean. Don't let yourself be distracted. Don't let yourself be caught up in the issues of life. All right? It's a day that, Yah has set aside, for his children to be able to have a bodily restoration, a mental restoration, and also to draw closer to him spiritually. All right? So that's not a question there. But there are exceptions. And this is where it's going to probably get a little controversy for some, few. But, in the book of Mark, chapter 2, verse 20, you can start reading about 23. And there's an instance where Yeshua and his followers, they are literally out in the field, and they are, they're eating out there. And they get confronted by the Pharisees, the religious community. And, and the religious community, confronted them about why weren't they keeping the commandments of Elohim. And Yeshua, having the mind of Elohim and understanding the word much better, and I guess a better way to say it, he understood the meaning of the word. So where they were talking about a physical thing, Yeshua understood it in its fullness. In essence, he understood it, the spiritual meaning in the application of it. So he had to remind them about David when Abiathar was the high priest, and how that David and his men were eating grain from the temple, and how that not only did David eat that grain from the temple on the Sabbath day, he also gave some of that grain to his companions, and they did eat also. And so if you read Mark chapter 2, we start reading again around about verse 22, up until really to the end, I think 28, 29 is the last verse in that particular book. It ends saying this, that The Son of Man is Lord over the Sabbath as well. That the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, in essence. It says that the Sabbath was made for us. We weren't made for the Sabbath. And that the Son of Man has rulership even over the Sabbath. Now you have to understand what he means first. So let's break down the Sabbath was made for man, man not made for the Sabbath. In other words, we're not enslaved to the Sabbath. The Sabbath was there to complement us, to accommodate us. The Sabbath is there, to be a blessing from Yah for us. But when you take the Sabbath and you use it in a way to I guess, corner a person, use it as a whipping stick or a whipping tool, then you're out of order. Because at that point, he's saying, wait a minute, man was made for the Sabbath, not Sabbath being made for the man. All right? And so that's what he said, look, if the Son of Man has rulership over the Sabbath, so does man under certain circumstances. And what he simply means that if you can keep the seventh-day Sabbath, Saturday as we best understand it, then you should be observing it. But on the other hand, if there's a situation, as in with David, as in with Yeshua, where that, your need or a particular need is greater than the observance of it, then you go with the need. Because again, it's there to service you, not to put you in bondage. So I'll give you an example. If you have a job that requires you to work on the Sabbath, then you work. And you're not under any type of judgment for working, because the book tells a man doesn't work, a man doesn't eat. That a man has to provide for those that he loves. A man does not provide for his household, it's worse than an unbeliever. So if your particular job requires you to work on the Sabbath, then there is a certain level of grace provided by Yah for that. But again, as he told, as he told the Pharisees with their wicked religious selves, self-righteous selves, is that again, Yah did not put this Sabbath out here for y'all to use to entrap men. If they were hungry, they would have been damn fools if they didn't go get them something to eat. So therefore, they must eat. And I'll take you in the book of Maccabees to give you something even better. There were some men in Maccabees. I want to say it's first Maccabees. You might start reading around chapter 7. And these men were trying to practice a Sabbath, and their enemies came upon them. And their enemies knew that these men on the Sabbath were not allowed to fight and defend their family, to defend their land, to defend themselves. And so what they did, they attacked these men on the Sabbath, our elders, ancestors. And they slaughtered them. They slaughtered them. Because our men did not understand that, again, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And therefore, they lost their lives and everything else because of their lack of knowledge. Hosea 4 and 6. Because they did not understand the basic fundamentals. The Sabbath is for your rest. But if you have to do a particular work on that day, there is a certain amount of grace. That is what Yeshua was talking about when he gave the example of King David, when he did it. And also caused his men to do it. I mean, think about it, my brothers and sisters. What you look like, sitting around letting your women, your children get massacred, get slaughtered, because your enemy knows that you can't do something on a particular day, although you are well equipped to protect them. You think that Yah sees some type of honor in that? No, Yah see you as being foolish. Your responsibility, we have a responsibility to protect and provide for our families. So that would not be, something that Yah would expect of you in regards to the Sabbath. So if you have to work on that Saturday, then whatever day that you don't have to work should become your day of rest or your Sabbath day. That should be the day that you honor Yah with your body, with your mind, and with your rahuk or spirit. If you follow the video that I did this past Thursday on my rest day, as I shared with you what I was doing, right? I shared with you that on that particular day I was renting to Yah what was Yah's. No different than that. Now, had I taken my rest day and I'm running the streets and shopping and, hanging out with my friends and, and just, watching movies and going clubbing or whatever the hell, the world does, then there's a judgment for that. I am not honoring the Sabbath. Then I'm in violation of the commandments, of that particular commandment. But Yah is interested in your body being restored, my brothers and sisters. Yah is interested in your soul being restored, my brothers and sisters. Yah is interested in your Rahuk reconnecting to Him, a rewind, a redo, a renewal on the Sabbath. That's the most important. That's the whole essence of that day of rest and reflection. These wicked heathens probably, who knows what the real Sabbath is? We're on this Julian calendar. We don't know what the hell the Sabbath day is, the Roman, we have no clue what it is. Hell, we don't even know if we're sitting in, Africa, in America, or vice versa. We have no idea. The rulers of the darkness of this world long ago crisscrossed and mixed all those things up so we could not, follow Yah, clearly. But Yah is starting to open up our eyes now in these last days. And He's starting to reveal certain things to us and starting to expose us to the real truth and to their lies. And as we start to come and increase in knowledge, then we began to learn these things. And as the old saying goes, when you know better, you do better. And I think that equally applies to the Sabbath. Are you taking that 7th day to rest, restore, reflect, and reconnect and strengthen your relationship with Elohim? Question for you. Yes or no? So whether that be on the so-called Sabbath, Saturday, or whatever day of rest that, is made available to you. All right? Then, Yah is seeing what your walk look like, what your behavior looks like. And He's going to honor that because you're honoring Him. Amen? Again, there should be a day of rest for every true believer, male and female, where your day is spent in reflection and meditation and reconnecting with our Creator, Yahuwah, Elohim. And if you understand that in its fullness and you don't disregard what happened to David, Yeshua would have never brought that example of David up unless He wanted us to remember that in these last days, in these evil times. That was written for our acknowledgement, for our acknowledgement, so that when these demons came to you and tried to tell you you're a fool or you're going to go to hell or you're not following the commandments of Elohim because you work on a Saturday, that you can rebuke them with the absolute truth and that you can bear forth witness through Yeshua and David. Let every word be established by what? 2 or 3 witnesses. And anyone who tell you to disregard what I said, they are liars. Because there are 2 witnesses there. Yeshua did it and his followers, his disciples. David did it and with his companions. They did it as well. That's 2. Well, I guess now you have 3, me. Amen? So I would tell you, my sisters and brothers, that you make sure that you're finding that day of rest. And on that day, it needs to be a day of dedication. Not distracted with the issues of life, the cares of this world, running out shopping and going out, partying and hanging out. No, a time of quiet time. If you have a family, family time. A time of prayer, a time of study, a time of edification. And if you're doing that, then you are honoring the Sabbath. You think Yah really gives a damn about some day that these heathen mean Saturday? Saturday is named after Saturn. That's mythology. You really think Yah gives a shit about that because He gives a shit about you keeping a 7-day rest? You think about that. And I think in your reflection, I think Yah will answer that question a whole lot better for you than I've just tried to. Amen. That's all I have for you, brothers and sisters. DFG, praise Yah. You know, this is, the Sabbath day as according to the world we live in. And if you're off today, Saturday, you need to be practicing the Sabbath. All right? But if you had to work today, you're not being judged. You're not under condemnation. All right? You're not going to be cursed for it. But you had better have a 7-day in your 7-day cycle. All right? Better be a day there. There's no such thing as working those 7 days. Any employer that's trying to do that, now that's the work of the evil one, to try to separate and break your relationship and break that connection between your Rahuk and Elohim's Rahuk. That is something that you don't tolerate. Amen? All right, my brothers and sisters. DFG, talk to you soon. Bye now.